Hi, everybody. It's Nicole, your personal Heyoka empath, here to give you clarity and insight on issues with life and love and self that you can't see on your own. And a really, really heartwarming welcome to all you newbies and my fams. I love you. So let me just begin right away because this is a very serious topic. Okay, so I'm going to be holding a party. It's my birthday, November 21st, and I would love to meet all of you. And so I'm holding a Zoom mixer for those. Oh, and it's going to be like, ask me any question about whatever your situation is. Bring a friend, they can ask me any questions. For those that want to partay with me, then feel free to email me at nikki880@gmail.com and I'll give you all the deets. Okay, let's move on. So there's one thing that keeps tripping us up, and it's actually a gold mine. And again, for all you newbies, this is a Heyoka's perspective on things, which means she will see it or he will see it in a lot deeper way than the average counselor or shrink or best friend. So here's how you can tell when you're stepping on a landmine and you have not recognized it as a gold mine. Therefore, it is blowing you up in the process. So here's how you can tell. If someone says something to you and you are having a reaction, not a response, and the difference is reaction is laced with volcanic emotions or like a stabbing emotion. It's a reaction. It's kind of like someone hits you in the head and you're like, you want to bite off their face. It's not a response where you could say, I don't believe that's true. I don't agree with that. Why do you say that? Because if you are completely whole inside and your self-esteem is knitted tightly, you would be able to receive something that you don't agree with neutrally. Let me go on. So let's say someone says something and you find yourself having a reaction and you're not able to respond. You are being triggered in a real bad way. You are being sucked through the vortex of your past to an unresolved issue, and here's the key, that your ego didn't approve of. Your ego told you it was bad, therefore it means you're not worth shit, therefore it means you'll never amount to much, or you're just bad. And what's really interesting is that when you look at it in hindsight or later on, and here's the major reason why it will trigger you. It will trigger you because there is a truth being said that you're not okay with. Your ego is not okay with because you have misinterpreted that truth to mean that something's wrong with you. So I'll give you an example. Someone could say to you, a client had said to me the other day, when my narc left me, he said, oh, say Betty, you're just always fighting against the world. And I could see her well up in anger. I also knew when she said that to me that it was true. You see, Betty always was at war with the world, felt against the world, therefore felt isolated. But I explained, and once I explained, things lightened, that it's very true. You're just the one that's not okay with the truth that's said because you've misinterpreted it to be bad. In her case, there was nothing bad with it. Because she was abandoned by her family and all the closest people and she was isolated as fuck, of course she's going to feel like she has to go against the world. Because when you're a child or a teenager and you leave your home base, that's supposed to be a nest, not a nest filled with like hornets. You step out of your nest You don't think the world is going to be a warm, inviting place that you got a relief from where you were, which was the enemy. You think you're stepping into more of the same. It's interesting that we don't have that differentiation. We don't ever leave home or run away from home and just feel like, yes, there's immediate relief that we left them, but we will be fearful of the world because subliminally, if we can't trust the ones that are close, how can we possibly trust the ones we don't know? And when that happens, you need to see the gold mine of it. And the gold mine of it is that whenever you meet someone that accidentally says something about you, and they could say it in anger, and you find yourself reacting, take a moment, and if you have to react back, and then go take a walk and look at it. And as you admit it's true, have a switch of heart for yourself and be understanding that it happened because there was a domino effect of certain things that happened that got you to feel you needed to be this way. The world was this way in your eyes. You couldn't see the world in any other way. I'll give you another example. There was someone I was dealing with that lives near where I live. And the other day, I happened to be around him and I misinterpreted something. And so my energy went down. I don't usually have friends and family to talk to. I usually deal with it on my own. And within time, a lot of things are illuminated. I'm very blessed that way. But since I had the luxury of this person and he wanted to talk about it, and thankfully, he knew not to just dive in, like, what's the problem? Like, seriously, if you want to help someone, they say, like, can we go over and talk? Don't say, okay, what's wrong? Let them ease into it in whatever way they need to. And for some people, they need to just tell you something else about their day. They need to ease into it in a different way. They don't want to dive right away. They want to tiptoe. They want to, like, put a toe in the hot water, and then they'll slowly get used to and acclimate to it. Just a heads up. And so as I was talking about different things that I started to realize I was really happy with my life, I started to talk about this situation. As I talked about this situation, I had realized, speaking out loud, insight was hitting me back. And as a Heyoka empath, my mirror is usually faced outward. So because I had this person in front of me, my mirror was coming back into me and I had all this insight. And so he didn't say a word. He listened. And as he listened, I went, oh, well, this is because of that. Oh, now I can see how this was misinterpreted because I was on that low vibe train because I had that interaction with that ex-person, toxic family member that just called me out of the blues last few days. So that already got me down to this level. And when you're on a lower level, you will see there'll be other thoughts to match that lower level because it's hungry to thrive. So all of a sudden there's a cascade of shit that you're thinking about where weeks and months ago, they weren't even on your mind. All it takes is one negative person. After I finished talking, I said, thank you so much. And he laughed and he said, I didn't do anything. I said, oh, you don't need to do a thing. Because the way I get my insight is I just need a human being with a pulse. That's all I need. I don't need you to actually contribute to anything. I didn't want to put pressure on him. I mean, it would be a nice, rare luxury to actually have a man see what I can't see. That would be, wow, what a treat. And yes, I know you're out there, but I mean, in my little galaxy. And so when I said that, I reiterated, I need nothing. I just need a human being with a pulse, like he can't be dead, for me to talk to with a heart so that I can have my mirror reflect and I get all this insight. And then we left each other. And then I get a call back. And he let me know straight up that really offended him. And I wasn't going to deal with this right now because A, he's not aware. He's not asleep. He's like resting in peace asleep, like a very unaware person. and many other things. And so the conversation went like this. I decided to call him and I said, before we talk about this another day, which your memory will not be exact in the context of which I put this in, I want to just reiterate one thing. I thanked you. You said, I didn't do anything. I reiterated, I don't need you to do anything. I get everything from inside, but I really need a human being. And all I need is a human being with a pulse. And he said, is that all I am for you? I resent that I'm a human being with a pulse, and that's it. And he went off on that tangent and he goes, you need to learn how to be a different, and I'm like, well, maybe I'm just scientific and I see things very dryly. I said, other people could laugh when I say that statement, yet it offends you. And I wasn't about to go into it because this guy is fiercely attracted to my ass and he thought we were more. And so now it was confined to a human with a pulse, because he said, I thought we were somewhere between getting someone who knows you, like in the neighborhood, to approaching friendship. No, that was your idea. That was not my idea. I never declared that. But again, I didn't say that. But this person was triggered. He was very badly triggered. As he told me I should learn how to change and be more with the norm, with normal conversations and all those kind of things, I had to remind him that the reason you're attracted to me is because I'm not like other people. So don't try to make me like other people. And that's what I mean. Words will be taken out of context. I had never said, all you are for me is a human with a pulse. I said all I need was a human with a pulse. And he personalized it and said, well, that is all I am to her, because she never mentioned everything else that I am to her. Not that he's much more than that. A couple of other things, but not much more. But I don't need to say that that would unnecessarily hurt him. But this is what I mean. And it was such an interesting thing to see. And I hope that all of you can just take a moment and find out, even when someone is like, hey, I didn't like what you said and blah, 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 you should change, you should this, you should this. Do you notice I didn't have an adverse reaction? I just said, I don't need to tiptoe around other people. I don't need to change to fit in with the norm, because I'm not norm. The people that gravitate around me will be my species. And I didn't put it that way, but you get my drift. And so see how you react. And understand, if you do react, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing, because you get to know where the weeds are still in your soul, draining your heart. And you could just take them out by the root by just putting a warm, rosy color hue on them and looking at yourself. And even if you don't understand why, saying, it's okay. It's okay. Something happened to make me this, to make me this, to make me this. And you can start with the small things. You can start when someone says to you, you could have called me earlier. Meanwhile, you had different things happening and this and this and that. You could start with saying, you're right. I could have called you earlier. You're right. And that's all you need to say, which means you're okay with the fact that you could have called them earlier. You don't have to give your reasons. You could have. You didn't, and you're okay with it. All right, I'm going to leave you for now. And if there's anything specific you'd love me to talk about, please leave it in the comments or leave me any questions you wish. And I can't wait to see you all at my party, November 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to fucking rock. Non-stop talking. I don't even know how long ago. Oh my God. Bring your friends, bring your dog, bring the squirrel. I don't care. It's like we're just going to have an interchange of energies, so that you can get familiar with what it's like to have a real family member that's where you are and match you. Bye for now.